Hi, I'm Suzanne Lazier, and I'm the author of the Aether Chronicles series, which is young adult fairy tale steampunk. Innocent Darkness is book one of the series, and today I'm here to talk about a couple of the behind-the-scenes things in the opening chapters. Innocent Darkness is the title of the book. It was nearly called Dark Innocence. I actually put both of those titles up on Facebook and asked all my friends what they thought, and Innocent Darkness was the one that won. But both of them were inspired by one of Puck's speeches from A Midsummer Night's Dream. And we fairies that do run by the Triple Hecate's team from the presence of the sun following darkness like a dream. And I really felt that that sort of really played into the whole theme of Innocent Darkness and Noli journeying into the other world, and I really like that imagery. So that's how the title came to be, and I was really lucky that the great people at Flex let me keep Innocent Darkness. Now, when I first sold Innocent Darkness, it was actually called Innocent Darkness, a Steampunk Fairy Tale. And the reason why that subtitle was in there was because back when I was contesting the book before it was published in 2009, when a lot less people knew what steampunk was, people were reading the opening chapters and getting really, really confused, not really understanding what it was. So I put steampunk in the title to give people something to Google. And we eventually took that out. Now, also people ask about how exactly we got the title, The Aether Chronicles. Well, I know you don't really see it in book one, and I really, really, really appreciate your patience. You'll find out a little bit more about why Aether is so important and why it really plays into it as the series goes on. But the actual series title was actually come up by a 16-year-old girl who's one of the original beta readers for this series, and she's helping me come up with series titles, and that was one of the ones she suggested. And when I gave the list to my publisher, that was the one that they selected. So that's how we got the title, though it really does play into the book, and you will find out more about that later. One of my favorite things in the beginning of the book are these quotes that I put in, and they tie in with the themes of the book. And I usually have one at the prologue, and I have one at the beginning of chapter one, and this is something that continues throughout this series. Now, these poems were actually suggested to me by great friends on Facebook who are English teachers, book historians, and people way smarter than me. The first poem that I use at the beginning of the prologue is from a section from William Butler Yeats' The Stolen Child. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wilds, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. And I feel that this really kind of ties in, especially with Kevin luring the girls into the other world and some of the other themes in Innocent Darkness and the series in general. I also have a section from Christina Rossetti's The Goblin Market right before chapter one, and I've always loved this poem. This is such a great poem. And the particular part I have in here is, we must not look at goblin men, we must not buy their fruits. Who knows upon what soil they fed their hungry, thirsty roots. It's good, right? And again, this all sort of ties in with the theme of the series. One of my favorite things in chapter one is Noli's flying car, the big bad pixie mobile. Oh, I wish I had one of these. It'd be really great in LA traffic, right? And Noli's car is actually her father's. It's a Heston Dervish pixie, which is a flying model that has since been recalled because they're very unsafe. And she has spent a lot of time and energy trying to fix up this flying car. People have often asked me what exactly it looks like. Well, really, it's sort of like a steampunk version of an Austin Healey sprite with bat wings. And hers is purple, and the seats are made up of a patchwork of fabric she's gotten from her mother's dress shop. Here's a little description. She patted the side of the flying auto. The bug-eye two-seater convertible possessed giant headlamps in the front, and the mesh grille underneath looked like a smiling mouth. The black retractable wings reminded her of bat wings. So we've got her steam-powered flying car. Now, it's called the Big Bad Pixie Mobile, partially because it is a pixie model. However, it's also called that because my very first car was the Big Bad Pixie Mobile. Unfortunately, it didn't fly. It wasn't even purple. It was powder blue and was this giant station wagon that fits 9 people with seatbelts. Now, Noli's always been called Magnolia, and she has been ever since I first started trying to figure out the series when the character came to me in probably about 2008. That's just always been her name. And Stephen V, he's always been that. James has always been James. And Kevin has always been Kevin from the very beginning. Charlotte came later. Queen Tiana was originally called Queen Tiarna. And Mr. Tarot, I didn't actually come up with his first name till probably a couple of months ago when I found out I actually really had to. But all these names are for a reason. James and Stephen's names needed to have Gaelic equivalents. Noli, I really liked that name. I wanted a name that was sort of strong and fierce, yet not. I mean, Magnolia is not a fragile flower, especially in the Victorian world that she occupies. And I like it. I also know a really great girl named Magnolia, and I wanted to give her a really awesome role model that had her name. We don't see a lot of Magnolias out there, but we do see a lot of Stephen and James. And then Kevin. Yes, people ask me about Kevin's name all the time. It was actually supposed to be Kavanagh, which is sort of my mispronunciation of a Gaelic name, but I misspelled it throughout the entire book, and I realized I really liked it better. So it is pronounced Kevin. And Kevin's sister's name is pronounced Craigif, which is Gaelic for faith. And Stephen's real name is actually pronounced Stefan. And James's real name in the fairy world is Seamus. And so there you go. There's a couple of interesting factoids and tidbits about the opening chapters of Innocent Darkness. For information about the series, please go to the series website, www.aetherchronicles.com, or you can visit the Aether Chronicles page on Facebook. And you can also tell me what you think on my website, SuzanneLazier.com, or on Twitter @SuzanneLazier. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.